Hello, I am here with your Saturday, March 27th, 2021 tarot using the Learn to Read Tarot. I have done an off-screen pre-shuffle and now we ask for our message or messages. Looks like this is a quick one today. And you know what? Just because of the way that the cards have been going for earlier this week, I'm going to see if there's one more to add to this. And yes, one of them is a major arcana. Now, have you guys got your full moon rituals ready to go? All right, I am not taking that many. That is way too many. Because the full moon happened at just before 3 p.m. Standard Eastern Time on Sunday, and it is the first. All right, I've taken the first one that flipped over facing up. It is the first of 4 super moons, meaning that these moons are actually physically closer to Earth. This is one of the cards. It's off the bottom of the deck. This is one of the ones that flipped out in that great big bunch that I said too many. Anyway, this full moon is the first of 4 super moons. And super moons, whether it be a new moon or a full moon, are actually a measurable distance closer to Earth in its orbit around Earth. Now, for those of you who don't know about the moon and its orbit around Earth, it is not a perfect circular shape or a sphere. The Earth is round. Yes, the Earth really is round. I know there's people out there who don't believe that, but the Earth is round, and the moon does orbit the Earth, but it does not orbit perfectly around Earth. It is more of an ellipse or almost oval shape rather than perfectly circular around Earth. So there are times when the moon is a measurable distance closer, and that is when we have supermoons. And with that, we get an extra jolt of that moon's energy. So onto the cards. From the bottom of the deck, we have 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups is talking about grief, sorrow, loss, but it's a feeling because it is a Cups card. The Cups cards talk about emotions. So it is not actually something that is physically happening around you. We do have a lot of change that has been coming in lately. We do have a lot of shifting energies that has been coming in. And we may be feeling like we lost something or we lost a part of, but it's just a feeling of loss. Now, once we get through the next 4 moons, and then in May, the end of April, we have Pluto going retrograde. In May, we do have a couple retrogrades, but we also have the start of eclipse season. So we've got 3 eclipses in a row, and they're ready to pack a massive punch. So right now, this feeling of what we think we are losing out on, we've got a whole bunch of change coming in. So with this 5 of Cups energy, it is very important that we embrace the major arcana card of the Empress energy. Loving, nurturing, caring. She is the mother of the tarot. She is the mother of all of the queens and embodies all of the energy of the suits. She is also very fertile, not just in the fact that she is usually depicted as being pregnant. And part of the reason why is that she's depicted as being pregnant is because she is a nurturer. She is the carer. She is mother-like figure. But she also is ready to birth something new. And because it is a major arcana card, it is feminine, very feminine energy. The Empress also is attached to the planet of Venus. And right now, Venus just entered into the sign of Aries. So there is a really balancing out type of effect coming in with this particular card. Even though it's not a balance type card, it is having a balance effect because of where Venus is right now in its transit, meaning its journey around the sun. Now, we do have two other major arcana. So this one is split half and half with major arcana and minor. And we start off with the minor arcana card of the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is joyful, celebration. And this, again, because it is cups energy, it is a feeling. So we are feeling joyful and more of a celebratory type energy. Once we get out of this Five of Cups funk, we've got some good reason here to start to be feeling like maybe it's time to celebrate soon. Now, because of there being a number of major arcana cards, major arcana equals major energy, and they trump the minor arcana suits. So their energy kind of gets precedence. It gets a little more attention than the minor arcana card. But we do have another minor arcana card. And there's a little bit of numerology going on here. We'll talk about that in a moment. We have the Nine of Wands, fire energy. It moves quite quickly. And the Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior. And the wounded warrior, despite his injuries, and the figure is usually depicted as being male, so I will use the pronoun he. The wounded warrior picks himself back up again, regardless of his wounds, and he carries on. He soldiers on. Now, with it being a 9 card, it is near completion. It is near the end of that suit. What follows the 9 of Wands? 10 of Wands, and the 10 of Wands is putting those burdens down. So whatever caused our injuries, we're getting ready to let those go and put that down and move forward. And moving is definitely a theme coming up with these next two cards, and they're both major arcanas. We have the Wheel of Fortune, and because it came out in the upright position, the Wheel of Fortune is movement and movement forward. Luck could be on our side because the Wheel of Fortune, even though it actually represents the wheel of life, actually it can mean a little bit of good fortune, whether that is luck in the form of you getting a call for a job interview, or you're finding out some good news that your job is safe, or things are just starting to click. You're meeting the right people for the right connections. I know meeting people right now can be a little bit difficult, but things are starting to line up and move forward. And why do we have a forward movement? Because we have the Chariot card. The Chariot card is a movement, traveling, literally moving. Whether it is just a residence across the street or clear across the country or across the planet, it is moving forward. We are marching forward, moving forward. We've had to use some willpower here in order to tame those lions that are pulling the chariot. But at the same time, it's progress, it's movement forward. So quickly for the numerology, for those of you whom are in it or interested in numerology, we have the Three of Cups and the Empress. Both are 3 and 3. So we have 2 3s. 3s talk about growth and expansion, as well as a little bit of luck. Wheel of Fortune is the card of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is exactly the same thing that the 3s embody. It is growth, luck, and expansion, particularly in knowledge. But if you know a Sagittarius, those are usually the people who win everything. We also have, the 5 doesn't really count because we don't have a 4, we don't have a 6, but we do go from 3 to 5 to 8 to 9 to 10. This is another reason why I strongly believe that this is progress forward. It is movement forward. The numbers on the cards are in ascending order. So it means we're going from smaller numbers right up to 10, and 10 is the end of the cycle. So altogether, it's time to let this old cycle go. We're still hanging on to an old paradigm, an old energy, something old that was wounding us or has wounded us in the past, but it's in the past. It's time to let that go because we are moving forward. It is progress. And once we turn the corner and we let this grief go, now remember, this 5 of Cups, this grief energy, it's the bottom of the deck. It's in the background. It's not in the foreground of the reading, and it is also a minor arcana card in which we have major arcanas that basically overrule it. And once we see that we've been letting or hanging on to this grief and ugly, heavy energy or feelings, and once we let that go, we're going to realize, hey, you know what? All that did was continue to hurt us by hanging on to it. It's time to let it go. It's time to maybe let go and let loose a little bit once we start seeing the progress we have made and to see where things are taking us next. This is something that is really exciting because it's something we've been really nurturing and working on, and it is almost time to birth this energy and to openly embrace it and embrace it wholeheartedly, because this is the change we have been asking for. Those endings, yeah, all that old stuff is gone. It's done. And we've got some very positive things to be looking forward to. Now, because there's a lot of major arcana here, this is going to carry through for the next little bit. We're going to be feeling this energy, so don't be surprised if we see some of these cards coming up again in the very near future. With this full moon, I know this is long, I'm going to quickly talk about it. This full moon is, because it is in the sign of Libra, it is emphasizing that energy, which talks about balance. Libra is also the sign associated to the Justice card, which is karma rebalancing itself. And whatever we are wanting to manifest and bring in, this full moon, we have to clear out space for it, because the power of this moon, especially with it being the first moon, whether it's new moon, full moon, it's the first proper moon event in the sign of Aries after we've had all this new starts, all this new fresh energy coming in with Aries and with the spring equinox. So we've got changing seasons. We just had a change in signs. There's a lot of newness. We have to clear out the old if we want to bring more new in. And this full moon is the time to do it. So another quick thing that I read about this full moon is that if it is going to happen, We are potentially going to see whatever we are manifesting, nurturing, dreaming of, hoping of, that we've been giving it a lot of attention to. If it's going to be coming in, we have to be prepared and ready for it to come in. It has to have space to come in. If it's coming in, we may be seeing signs of that quite quickly. And if not, then by the full moon in October, when we reach the sun being in the sign of Libra. This full moon is in the sign of Libra. So if it's going to happen, we'll find out by October if it is or not. But really nurture the positive, be ready to be on the move, whether it's just an energy or literally packing your bags. And get ready to celebrate once we let this old stuff go. It's literally just hanging on by threads. So with that, I'm going to leave it here, and I will talk to you tomorrow.